Chloé Beauvalet, présidente de chez Sitel France. Applaudissements pour elle, s'il vous plaît. Bonjour, bienvenue. Ah ben non, sans les mains. C'est parfait.
Pas besoin de passer des slides, juste pour vous remercier d'accueillir finalement à distance Christopher, qui est notre expert Analytics, qui vient vous exposer un cas avec John Lewis. Un cas d'école de la data, finalement, ça prend bien la suite de ce qui a été dit avant, notamment par Thomas. C'est l'occasion de décloisonner les entreprises, pas uniquement décloisonner l'expérience collaborateur et l'expérience client, mais décloisonner aussi le service client et le digital pour exploiter la donnée de la relation à des fins d'optimisation de toute l'entreprise dans sa globalité. Hybrider aussi les dispositifs humains et les dispositifs digitaux, finalement faire de la transversalité dans tous les axes pour délivrer de la valeur au service des clients finaux. La parole est à Christopher et à Graham. Merci à vous.
Hi guys, this is qu'il, the Global Head of Data and Insights for Sitel Group. I'm honored to be with you guys in the Hub Forum, and I'm extremely honored to be co-presenting with Graham from John Lewis. Today we're going to be covering some of the scope of support, some speech analytics and the strategic proposal that we have within our partnership, and then we'll go over some finding and results. Again, thank you guys very much, and really looking forward to jumping right into it. We'll start by going over our strategic partnership. Within Sitel Group, we are hyper-focused on making sure that we bring the best-in-class technology combined with the best-in-class expertise. And by doing that, we've made a very strategic partnership with CallMiner, and we've expanded this throughout the entire 3-year relationships that we've had. So far, inside of 2021, globally, we have ingested and analyzed over 156 million interactions. We have spread to 35,000 FTE and growing as it relates to contact centers spread across multiple different industries. And in part with that, we have partnered with John Lewis, and that's really the element of what we're going to be walking through today. So how does speech analytics work? Speech analytics is really meant to untap all of the unstructured data that happens in the contact center. There's lots of data that always happens within our enterprises, and we can get into that, whether it's from a database or it's a CSAT survey. It's very easy to get towards some of that structured data. But we're leaving a lot of that data untapped with every single conversation that goes on in the contact center, whether it's from customer complaints, it's customer suggestions, it's really understanding what's driving that. And so that's where we use the power of interaction analytics to really untap that data and drive actionable results. So we start by going through and ingesting 100% of the interactions. Now, I want to make sure that I stress this is interactions. So it's not just tied to your voice. It handles email, it handles chat, it handles social media. We bring in those conversation points to really be centralized with the metadata that's tied to them so that we can understand all of the outside data points and be able to bring in additional data sets as well. From there, we will break down the transcription. So if it's an audio, we will actually go through and use speech to text. And we will separate the audio mechanism from the transcription. And we use these in 2 parts so that we can understand the keywords that are happening on the call, the context that's happening on the call, and that we can hyper redact. And then we will also look at the acoustic measurements with that so that we can understand tonality and different linguistic qualities. From there, we're going to go in and be able to use those transcripts and those acoustic elements by building in and categorizing different parts of those calls, tagging them so that we can now create a new pattern recognition process, and we can really get after hyper-specific language patterning. And then the magic comes to point where data is absolutely worthless unless you do something with it. And so we take that tagging, that categorization, and we bring it to an operational front for scoring and tracking. From that allows us to enhance the agent performance and really drive overall enterprise business insights. And with that, we're going to jump into some of those business insights, and I'll hand the microphone over to Graham and let him kind of walk you through the story.
Chris, thank you very much indeed for that brief intro. So for us as a partnership and as a high street retailer, we recognize that there's one key differentiating factor across the market just now, and that's customer experience. And we felt that we were, as you alluded to earlier, scratching the surface of what was going on with our customers, what was actually driving pain into the customer's journey, and what did they love about what we did for them. So what we tried to do through utilizing speech analytics is understand, why are our customers contacting us? What is it that's causing them to have to phone us? Is it because they want to pay and they want to buy stuff from us? Or is it actually because there's something gone wrong in a customer journey? And where it's particularly important to drive loyalty for customers, it's really important that we have one set of processes and policies that suit our customers, but that one set of processes and policies has to be flexible enough in order to allow us to deliver great experience. And through using speech analytics, what we're starting to understand is, what are the tactical things that we need to change in the operation to make things better for our advisors in the front line, or for your advisors in the front line? But what are the propositional key changes that we need to make, whether through our website or through our high street stores or through our delivery network, in order to be able to make things easier for the customers to buy our products and welcome them into our homes? Or if after they have one of our products, if something goes wrong, actually, how do we make sure that when they do call us, or when they email us, or use a digital conversation, that we're able to resolve that question simply? So it's about driving out handoffs. It's about making sure that the processes that are presented to our frontline partners and advisors are fit for purpose. And historically, we had a view of that, but that was a view that was generated through advisor conversations, talking to managers, using quality documents. Now, realistically, quality check documents, they're not really a measure of customer experience. They're really just a process flowchart to see whether an advisor has adhered to whatever data protection or other process. But they don't really allow us to get into the nitty-gritty detail of customer-facing proposition. So through speech analytics, we're starting to identify, actually, what are those tactical things that we need to change at the low level? How do we make the advisor more available to our customer? So whether we drive knowledge to the advisor to enable them to deal with the customer's questions first time and resolve them first time, and coach the advisors to make sure that that knowledge then sticks in their minds. Or how do we make sure that we're deflecting those customers' calls actually to an area of business that's able to help them better than the area they've ended up with? Particularly in a world now where IVRs are becoming more complicated, your customer contact becomes more diluted across the whole of our estate. And it becomes more challenging to start to pick out the nuggets and the snippets from all of those areas. What speech analytics allows us to do is to look at all of that contact that we pour down the top of the funnel to actually then start to really understand what is it that we need to change in order to make things easier for the customer, easier for the advisor, and hopefully then make sure that the customer keeps on coming back to us. I think, though, Chris, that it's really important that we recognize that speech analytics as a tool is only part of the game here. And it's probably about, the tool feels like it's 40 or 45% of the game. 55% of the game seems to be in the intellect that sits behind it, in interpreting the data, asking the right questions, using the right question set, and making sure that the feedback and the strategic insight that comes out of it is actionable and is measurable and is, more importantly, achievable. And I think that one of the key things that we've come across in the last year or so in being in bed with you guys doing this work is that what you will do is deliver to us insight that is real world scaled. So what you're not saying to us, you can deliver 100% of all of these benefits all of the time. You recognize that where we have to shift advisor behavior or customer behavior, the answer is we will deliver some of it in some of the time. So it's that realism is really appreciated in our perspective because it allows us to prioritize what we're going after. But equally, we have to recognize that speech analytics only looks at part of our estate. So what we would never want to be able to do is to say all of our customer problems are highlighted to us through speech analytics. But what we can categorically say is that all of our customer problems in the areas that run through speech analytics, we understand in a level of detail now that we've never understood previously.
And I completely agree. To add to that, we're not looking at speech analytics as a silver bullet. We are looking at it as truly an enhancing mechanism to drive operational performance. And I think that's really key on how we can, again, just jump in, untap that data set, and then be able to take operationally effective results and really enhance. As we all know from a contact center industry perspective, the agents are by far the number one way of impacting performance. They are the front line from that performance, and they represent the brand. And so by enhancing and utilizing, again, the right technology with that right talent that understands the key points on where to impact and what to drive and what that priority should be from a business perspective, and be able to offer suggestions and recommendations, not demands. It's a true partnership aspect. It's suggestions, it's recommendations, it's a path forward. And it's also going through a little bit of that trial and error. This isn't a flip on and all of a sudden you're getting results. You have to really empower it with the expertise and with the true talent behind the tool to be able to get to that. And again, it takes a great partnership from both sides in order to make sure that we are driving true actionable results. The last part that we'll finish with today is really kind of gliding through the number one key takeaway that we've learned by becoming those experts in the tool, and that's by not boiling the ocean. And I think with John Lewis and team, we have a great set of examples here. There's a lot of problems out there, and we all want to fix everything every single time, all the time. But boiling the ocean is one of the bad parts once you get to this data, and really wanting to sit down, be hyper specific on a problem, and start digging into that. And so as we started with you guys, we didn't go after 200 things. We went after 1-2 key priorities, and really drove that down. So as we finish up for this part, Graham, any additional words that you want to add?
Yeah, I think the last part from me on this, Chris, is that, and you touched on it briefly there, is that what I think has made this particularly valuable to us is the fact that you are such a trusted partner to us as a business, and you have been a long-standing partner to us as a business. So you understand the questions that we're wanting to ask, and you understand the insight that you're giving us back. You're not coming at this as an external kind of unknowledgeable consultancy. You're using the power of the relationship and the power of the knowledge that you have. And I think that's been absolutely critical to the success of this for us as a business.
Outstanding. Well, on behalf of Sitel Group and John Lewis, thank you guys very much for joining us for this introduction into speech analytics. If there's any additional questions, please feel free to visit sitel.com and be happy to reach out and have any future conversations with you guys. Thank you.